I feel like this whole video is just gonna be like me freaking out about all the characters. Well, hi there. It's been so long that I have basically forgotten how to do one of these, so bear with me while I just make a fool of myself throughout this entire video. But hi, my name is Shimon, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, and if you are, make sure you subscribe, because I used to try to post videos like every week, and it worked for like the first 5 videos, I think, but that was because it was summer holiday. Okay, I have had shit there's a lot, and I had to take care of them, but I'm back now and I want to keep making videos because I love talking about stupid stuff. Might as well put it on the internet for people's enjoyment. My posters are actually very appropriate for this video. We're gonna talk about Wandavision today, the show that has confused the hell out of pretty much every Marvel fan ever. Usually when you have comic book movies coming out, people who have read the comic books, they will be like, you know, oh, I know exactly what's gonna happen. We know how Civil War is gonna go down. They have theories and everything else. People have no clue about this one. I mean, some of them do, because people are smart. Y'all are detectives. If you don't know what WandaVision is, where have you been? The thing is, WandaVision is that type of show where if you haven't followed MCU for a while, you're not gonna know what's going on. They're not gonna know it. They're not gonna appreciate it, especially what happens at the end of, was it episode 4? No, episode 5. It was at the end of episode 5 where when you know what I'm talking about. I have notes as usual, and we're gonna talk about my thoughts and any theories that I have. We're especially gonna talk about the person that showed up at the end of episode 5, Hayward, who's the director of Sword. Why did I hesitate there for a little bit? This is getting kind of spoilery. If you haven't watched the show, go watch the show. It is going to be a spoilery video, so, you know, watch at your own risk. If you want to spoil yourself, then spoil yourself. And if you do care, get off the internet right now, because I feel like most of it is probably already spoiled for you. But yes, please go watch WandaVision and then come back and we can talk about it. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that people who are staying to watch the spoilery part of the video, you have seen WandaVision and also you're a Marvel fan. The amount of stuff that I have to talk about, I doubt I will be able to explain everything, like, you know, step by step. And also a disclaimer, I haven't read the comic books. The only comic books I've ever read is the Dark Phoenix saga, a Black Widow one, and the Captain America Civil War comics, because I love those characters. But I haven't read the House of M comics, which is what WandaVision is based on, or anything like that. I haven't read the comic book, so yeah, you take everything that I say in this video with a grain of salt. Literally, like, this whole video is probably going to be redundant by Friday anyway, because, you know, the new episode's coming out. Episode 7, I'm so excited!
Rest in peace me, R.I.P. me, I died dead!
We're going to start off with my thoughts, and then I'll go into the theories. I will probably mostly base it on episode 6, because, you know, that's the most recent video, that's the most recent episode. Let's get down to it. First thing I want to talk about is the sitcom style. If you know me, I'm not a big fan of sitcoms. The only sitcom I've ever loved is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh my god, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's ending! Anyway, point is, I don't like sitcoms. So when I found out that the first TV show Marvel was going to produce for Disney Plus was going to be a sitcom, I was like, girl,
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never.
I will sit through it just for my characters, but I'm gonna hate it the entire time. I was worried, and then the first and second episode dropped. Yeah, what the was I worried for? It was so much fun. It was just so much fun just to watch, like, 2 of the most powerful characters in the MCU play house, basically. I like the sitcom style. Even the sound design, like in the first episode, right at the beginning, after the Marvel logo, you know, rolls, and then you start the sitcom, the sound changes. It's like you're watching it through really old television, and it's just so cool. They did a really good job. So Vision is obviously not really Vision in this. He's like a caricature of what Vision used to be. He's like a mere shadow of what he used to be, because I remember like watching WandaVision, I was like, did I ever like Vision? And then recently I rewatched Infinity War, in the scene in Scotland where Wanda and Vision are, you know, hiding away, and they're having their cute little romantic love story, and oh my god,
I died dead!
the whole movie, Vision is so calming and loving and responsible and reliable. He's just so smart and so wise. I forgot how much I liked you. Like, if WandaVision is making you appreciate the old Vision, you would think that that's kind of like a bad thing, but obviously it's understandable because Vision's dead. Or is he? Yeah, I really missed Infinity War Vision until episode 5. Pietro Maximoff shows up and they're having their fight. Holy I was watching that. I'm like, that's the Vision we know. That's Vision. Paul Bettany killed it in that scene. He was so angry and it made me scared. I was like, I've never seen Vision like this. Elizabeth Olsen just playing all these, like, you know, eras of sitcom and just playing a really heartbroken, just, you know, a mess of a very powerful person. She's killing it. Everyone's doing so great in this show. I'm loving the show and I'm loving all the characters. I love Jimmy Woo so much and this little card trick.
James E. Woo, FBI.
And I love Darcy so much. And I love Monica. I love all these characters so much. Like, I just want to be. Can we have a spin-off show? Like, thank you very much. You know what? I'm gonna get to the theories now. I'm gonna break it down by the first person I'm gonna talk about is Hayward, then Pietro, and then we're gonna talk about Monica because I feel like she has some shit going on with her. And okay, you know what? We're gonna start off with the aerospace engineer because who is this guy? Now, I have a few guesses. My friends helped me as well because this aerospace engineer isn't just a normal person, because if you remember in episode 4 when Monica was talking about, oh, I know an aerospace engineer who would be up for this, she is practically winking at the audience. They know what they're doing. They're dropping too many hints, they're dropping too many Easter eggs. And then she did it again in episode 6 when she has to go meet her guy across the ridge. This is a guy, right? I feel like people know where I'm going with this. Is this Reed Richards? He's supposed to be the smartest person in the entire MCU. Not even MCU, in the entire Marvel universe. He has mastery over pretty much every single science, and when you look at his Marvel wiki or like fandom wiki, basically where I get all my research from, aerospace engineering is third on the list. Is it really so wild to think that they're going to introduce Reed Richards? Not Fantastic Four. I don't think they're going to introduce Fantastic Four. I just think they might even just name drop Reed Richards. They just randomly have the thing that Monica wanted this whole time, and then Jimmy Woo asks, oh, where's the guy? And Monica just says, oh yeah, Reed had to go. It might just be the first name, but fans are gonna go fucking crazy. It might be a good way to try to reboot older movies. I don't think you're gonna start with X-Men because X-Men is still too fresh in people's minds. Not Dark Phoenix. That movie does not exist. Anyway, I don't know. My biggest bet is on Reed Richards. My other guess is that it's one of the Skrull, you know, the Skrull girl that Monica was friends with in Captain Marvel movie. I mean, we have already been introduced to the sword base in space at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. It would be a good way to introduce them to the character, but they've already dropped the hint twice, and I don't think they're gonna do it for a minor character. I think this is a major character. I'm hyped up for this just by the way Monica said, I know a guy who would be up for this. I'm sorry, she was practically smiling at the camera. You think that it's just gonna be like a Skrull side character that we have already seen before? Come on. But the third guess, and I think this might be true, Ironheart, who's I think going to take the mantle from Tony Stark, and she's going to be like the next Iron Man, but she's going to be called Ironheart, and I think she has already been casted. She already has a movie lined up, so it would be a good way to introduce her as well. It could be either Reed Richards or Ironheart, but my money is on Reed Richards because Monica specifically says, I just gotta go meet my guy over the ridge. I've talked for 10 minutes about 2 lines in this TV show. Do you not understand my dilemma? Anyway, we're gonna talk about Hayward now because that mother...
For the children, don't swear.
Oh yeah, for the children. The internet already knows that Hayward's... We already know, right? That he's the bad guy because he was really condescending to Monica. He used Monica's mom's death against her. He's trying to bully them. He's trying to kill Wanda. I do have some things like little tidbits to add. I don't think Hayward is really the villain. I think he is working for the villain. When Sword first finds out about the Westview anomaly thing, they set up a base to try to find out what's going on. Darcy comes in, she figures out that it's a sitcom starring 2 Avengers, and then you see Hayward coming in the background, talking over Monica when she's... not Monica. talking over Darcy when she's explaining what CMBR is, so mansplaining basically. Oh my god, I hate that guy. He looks surprised, he looks shocked, and then he says, get me a ride back to the HQ right now. We never see what happens at headquarters. In the next episode, or the episode after that, we see a footage of Wanda stealing Vision's body from Sword. But that was 9 days ago, so it's really weird how Hayward is like, you know, pulling this up now rather than 9 days ago. What I think happened is that whoever the big bad guy is, I don't think it's Hayward, I don't think it's Wanda, I don't even think it's Agnes, right? I know she's a witch, she's Agatha Harkness, she has a brooch, she's not the main villain, she might be a lackey doing something for the villain, but she's not the main villain, and there's someone else, and it might be linked to Pietro. We'll get back to that. I think Hayward is working for the villain, right? And they were immediately after Endgame, they were looking for Wanda, and I think they wanted to kill her. However, Wanda disappeared with Vision's body, and now she pops up with a sitcom and playing basically house with the most powerful Avenger. And then Hayward, you know, finds her, and then he freaks out. He goes back to HQ to talk to his boss. Then they figure out a new game plan, show the footage of Wanda stealing Vision's body to everyone to antagonize her, so they have a motive to kill her, so he doesn't look like the bad guy. Basically, he's too meek to be the big bad villain. Also, why I think this is happening is because in the first episode, Wanda doesn't seem to be in control, especially because when Mr. and Mrs. Hart, they come in for dinner and they start asking them questions, and Wanda and Vision are confused. Usually Vision's the only one who's confused, but in the first episode, Wanda's confused as well because she doesn't know what's going on, because as she said, I don't even know how it started. And then in the second episode is when she says, this is our home now, we have to blend in. I think that's when she starts regaining control, or like gaining control over the whole thing. And then weird things start happening. Okay, wait. So Hayward went back to HQ after the end of the first episode, right? So that's when the big bad found out that Wanda is on Westview, and that's when he started controlling, or they started controlling the Hex from outside Westview. I think it's from outside Westview because Pietro. Let's quickly talk about Pietro and why I think either he's the big bad villain or he's being controlled or being possessed by the big bad villain. So we first see Pietro at the end of episode 5, and when Pietro is going in, you actually hear the breach alarm in the Sword base outside Westview. That means someone was either going into Westview or getting out of Westview. No one left Westview. It was Pietro going into Westview. And also because he's a speedster, he would have made it across town to Wanda's house immediately. He went in from Sword headquarters. He is the one that Hayward went to get orders from.
What?
I think that's exactly what's happening. He wanted to confuse Wanda and change his face to Evan Peters. The Mephisto theory has been going around everywhere. We all know who he is by now. But it's just, I know people are thinking, oh, that's too easy. Everyone knows it by now. There are way too many way too many demon references for it to not be Mephisto.
Unleash hell, demon spawn!
I genuinely think it's Mephisto, and I think either Evan Peters Pietro is Mephisto. Can't talk. Either Evan Peters Quicksilver is Mephisto, or he's being controlled by Mephisto. My money is on being possessed because you see hints of Pietro coming through and hints of Mephisto coming through, because he almost knows too much and too little at the same time. Like, he knows that Vision died twice. I mean, he's gonna die a third time, but you know, Vision's already dead. He knows that, but you know, Quicksilver's not supposed to know that because Quicksilver died before Vision in Age of Ultron. So he knows too much. But also when he's describing how he died, he says, oh, like, you know, they shot me for no reason. He didn't die for no reason. He died to save Hawkeye and the kid in Age of Ultron, right? So he doesn't even remember how he died. So he, again, knows too little. He at once knows too little and too much at the same time. So I think when he knows too little, that's Evan Peters Quicksilver showing through. And when he knows too much, that's Mephisto talking. And most of the time, he does know too much. So most of the time, it's Mephisto talking through Evan Peters Quicksilver. Reason why I think, I'm going to go through like the biggest reason I think that Pietro is, you know, the villain, is because he literally breaks down his whole plan to Wanda. I'm here to come to town unexpectedly, create tension with brother-in-law, stir up trouble with the Rugrats, and ultimately give you grief. That's what she wanted, right? It's like he's like, you know, reading off a list of things that he has to do. But also, why would he tell Wanda that? Is that Pietro showing through, you know, being like, this is what Mephisto is doing to you? Or is that Mephisto trying to confuse Wanda? I just need answers. When they're sitting down at the town square scare thingy, and Pietro is basically grilling Wanda for answers, wanting to know how she started all of this, and Wanda's obviously like it just happened and I don't know how it's happening. He says, I'm not some stranger and I'm not your husband. When someone says something like that, you expect them to follow it up with who they are to you. So you would expect Pietro to say, I'm not a stranger, I'm not your husband, I'm your brother, you can tell me, you can trust me. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say I'm your brother. He's not Pietro, okay? So I think Pietro is the one who's being controlled, or either is Mephisto, and he was in headquarters, went into Westview because he realized that Vision wasn't enough to keep Wanda there, and Wanda's stirring up trouble. They can't kill Wanda. So that's why Pietro shows up. Because how else are you gonna kill her? Other than emotions, because Wanda is a very emotional person. Did I just, oh my god, if I'm right, we all know, I mean, we know what's happening with Monica, right? That she looks like she's gaining powers, her DNA is changing, her blood work looks weird, the x-ray is all like, you know, blasted white. I also think that she knew this was gonna happen, because when the doctor says that, oh, I need to do another blood work, I need to do another x-ray, she looks like she definitely doesn't want to do this. Like, she looked like she knew what was happening. Maybe a possible mutant gene that got awoken up, you know, by Wanda blasting her across space. Not space, but like across the barrier and stuff. But also, she didn't realize that it was actually gonna happen. She probably didn't believe it. When Jimmy and Monica were, you know, fighting those guards to get out of the sword base, she is kicking a guy down and then she looks surprised that she could do that. So it's like, yeah, she knew what was happening, but she didn't think that she would actually get powers. Her name is gonna be Photon, right? Photon is coming. There we go. I love how most of these characters are like, they're so powerful, they're crazy powerful. You have Wanda, you have Captain Marvel, you have Thor, you have Vision. Goddamn. Basically all I had. I'm tired now. Let me know in the comments if you agree with any of my theories. This video is gonna be redundant in like 2 days anyway, because Friday's coming soon. I'll try to get it up by Thursday hopefully, so you guys can see my thoughts and my theories before episode 7 comes out. I don't think I'm gonna do an episode by episode video after this. I might just do another video when it finishes, like in 3 weeks time. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you later. Bye. That sounds like I put these posters up just for this video, but I didn't. Oh my god, Disney Plus is getting so much money because of these stupid TV shows. I need to stop screaming. Like, my housemates are gonna be so annoyed at me. Oh, she's still filming. God, I thought there was someone outside. And they've done it twice. Oh my god, I'm falling.